It's Traffic Cones and we're back with another video. And I got this. If you guys know what this is the harmonic balancer. Yeah, I got it removed. My boy said use PB blaster and a torch. I didn't have a torch, so I used a lighter and a whole bunch of PB blaster and a lot of strength. Finally got it off. Look, it looks like this. Essentially crank, took a little bit of beating, but I had to do what we had to do to get it off. How you say it? From there, we can actually go in and remove the rest of these. I forgot what these are called, but we can remove this. We can remove the crank, get the crank polished, essentially get a new front assembly, and then I could throw this in the hot tank. I'm gonna build an electrolysis tank in the next few weeks. I'm gonna build me a little tank right here and let it air out. The Camaro is fucking. Let me show you guys. My Camaro had a coolant leak. What you call it? So we've had coolant leaks before, but this one is a little bit different from before. I don't know if it's the water pump up front and the thermostat that I replaced a while ago, but both of them, it's like down bad. Like it's gasping. Like I'm running it, it don't overheat, but you know, you don't want to be running on a car that's leaking absurd amount of coolant. You know, so the Camaro is gonna be down for a while, and I'm gonna be transported on this scooter until we get this swap done. I say that because like I could deal with it, but then at the same time I could just not deal with it and just get the swap done instead of trying to spend money trying to figure out the solution for that. Just don't drive it at all and find another way of transportation, which means I could get a bike, like a legitimate motorcycle, just to get from A to B. I got another car, so it's not too bad. But man, sucks though, it sucks. So we're gonna have to figure something else out for that. But let's get back to the work of the Camaro. I'm gonna give you guys a little breakdown of the front, little time lapse session. So tune in. All right, so here's the quick little breakdown. So once we got the harmonic balancer off, that really took a lot of strength out of me. I ended up removing the front timing cover. That was really simple. All 10mm bolts. Quick little breakdown. The timing chain was honestly really good. A little loose, but I wouldn't be surprised for how many miles this engine has. But so far, so good to me. All right, so it probably was hard to see the timing cover removed, but I got it over there on the floor right there. That's gonna be a cleaning and painting video in itself. But here we have the front where you have the timing cover. Timing chain, that's the timing cover. Timing chains, oil pump, chain with LS. With LS motors, it's super simple. Now, another thing that I really like is that they're all the same size bolts. So all of this is like all 10s. So it's really easy to remove. But one thing that you want to check and see is the slack on this chain. It has a little bit of slack. Not too bad. You don't want it to be super tight, but the tighter primarily the better. What we're gonna do now is just hold this down. Just hold the crank down with my hand. And then just remove these. I'm saying it's super simple. The hard part literally is getting any motor out of the car. Like, what I can tell you, you really need two people. Like, to get any motor out of the car, you need two people. It's possible one, a lot longer and harder, especially if it's your first time doing it. Like, you know, first time, I'll just fan this and going too strong with my time doing anything really is like super hard in my opinion. Because like, you know, you just don't have the experience. But over time, you do get better at it. You know, it becomes a lot easier. One thing I am hoping to remove is this camshaft. Yeah, I'm hoping to remove this camshaft. That'd be really cool to see if any of the rocker arms or any of the... Is it the rocker arms? Yeah, see if any... Not the rocker arms, the valves. To see if any of the valves hit it. That'd be something really interesting to see. You know? But with this oil pump, I think it should just be these 4 bolts. And then this should just pop right off. Yeah, let me get this towel set up. I got these 3 bolts go for this cover. And then these on the outside go for the oil pump. It's about to come off, And there we go. So, if you want to take a look, essentially these are like essentially I think this is like what you would consider the oil pump gear in a sense for the oil pump. And then oil pump exit and heads into, I think this goes to the pickup tube. I have to look at the diagram. I don't know off all the top of my head about how this is broken down. But obviously you want to plug your bolts back in. So what I like to do for safety, plug the bolts back in, and I like to record it because it makes it easier to, essentially rebuild this back. But disassembled and sat here for storage. Actually, no, I can move this over there in the meantime. Just like that. And then from here, just wiggle the timing chain off. Boom, comes out just like that. Set that to this. Actually, let me put, like I said, easy to just put the bolts back in. So when it's time to go back, especially when it's time to order, it makes it so much easier. All right, here is where the can and stuff start coming in. So essentially, like, you want to remove these 4 bolts and then stick 2 pins in and pull it out, so it doesn't cause any damage. But I don't know if I'm doing that today. I'm about to see right now. I'm very, very curious if this cam has ever been changed. But as I'm still looking at the block, I ain't gonna lie, the block did fall. I'm gonna let you guys know, and I am being honest. But it only cracked the oil pan and it hit the wall. So if my leasing people was watching this, I'm a little bit cooked. But not see, we just disassembled the front. Boom. But look at so essentially this is like a seal. The seal is like super, super flat. I don't know how to explain if that's a good thing or bad thing, but obviously if it's a seal, you don't want it to be super flat. You want it to have some type of, seal. And then with this cam, I don't have things, and I don't want it to hit so much. Oh, look at our cam. So you want to look close. Let me see if this is an aftermarket cam. Now this is the stock cam. I don't see no, let me see. This is the stock cam. I don't see no aftermarket numbering on it. It just says 8. So, but damn, this is the stock cam. Honestly, this is like my first time ever touching the cam, to be honest. But does this look aggressive to you guys? Like, this looks quite stock to me. But if you look at it, I guess these wear marks are something to pay attention about. I'm gonna send a picture out to this, to my boys, and see if there's any like issue with it. But I'm getting a new cam anyways. I have to do cam bearings and main bearings. But we got the cam. Let me see if I get a good thumbnail. Hold on. There we go, just like this. Got him. All right, so I'm gonna set the cam to the side. Now that we have the camera moved, we can now go to essentially the crankshaft. So essentially what you want to do is remove these bolts right here. There's that on both sides. These hold the main things. They hold the main things and like where they're supposed to be in a sense. What I am gonna do is run upstairs and grab a marker, because when you remove these, you want them to go back in the same spot. Essentially, this is the front, this is the back. These look exactly the same, but it looks like someone's numbered them. Like if you look closely, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you do want to remember the orientation of the motor. So essentially, crank is where the front is. I say crank where the front is. The front timing cover is where 1 goes, boom, and the rear is where 5 goes. So thank God that they're numbered. One thing I like so far with this motor, I hope it's stock, but everything has been numbered so far, which is like really, really good for me because I've never done it before. It's almost like this 6.0 is like match made in heaven for me. I haven't had like no real issues yet, and I count that as like a blessing, you know, like. Because I've seen people go through issues with this, man. Like legit. But like none of my head bolts got stuck. I really have yet to have like a stuck bolt. Like I think the most stuck bolt I had was this harmonic balancer. But in general, harmonic balancers are strengthy to deal with anyways. So, you know, no one wants to try to remove a harmonic balancer. I have a harmonic balancer pulley, but it's not as efficient. I got it from Harbor Freight. It really sucks, to be honest with you. I made do with it and got it removed. But so I cracked all the bolts, and now and when you remove this, you want to put this in a very, very safe space. What I'm gonna do is legit put everything back together, but put it in a box. So I'm gonna remove everything one by one. So is this how you're supposed to remove it? Probably not, but I'm gonna remove everything one by one. So I'm gonna put one, screw it all back in, screw one all back in, and then how you say it? Put it in a box, and then so on and so on from 1 to 5. So this will take me a little bit of a process. I'm gonna try to give you guys a high point of view so you can see me working. So let me get that situated.
It's honestly crazy how these time lapse work. Like you can do 2 hours of work and it all just be shown in 35 seconds. But here I went in and removed all of the main caps or main bearings. I'll figure out the proper terms later. But essentially, like I said, they were all numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I tried to keep them, like all the bolts and everything, plugged in the same position. So I would remove one and then essentially put all the bolts back where it belongs on the main cap bearing and just continue working from there. I ended up having to take a break because I had to do something, but it was fairly simple. You see, I came back in the night and did the rest. I removed the back cover. Essentially, that's where the real main seal is. I think I may be reusing that if I can't order one. I'm gonna see how much it costs from Rock Auto. I will be getting all my parts from Rock Auto and Summit. But here you just see I'm removing the rest. I end up using the crowbar to like break it out. That last one fell and hit the floor.
All right, so this is the breakdown. I got the entire motor disassembled. I just put the crank on the ground just to record this, but I'm gonna move this. I gotta count how many teeth are here, so when I order this Holley Terminator, I could get that. These are what essentially, I'm just calling them crank bearings, but main bearings, whatever you wanna call them. These look good. These all look good. All look good. All look good. All look good. What I could do is check the clearance. Am I going to? I don't know, it depends how I'm feeling, like all citizens. But I have everything sorted out right here. Essentially it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know because it says 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is on this side. I have video proof to make sure I just put it back in the correct direction. From here are our next few steps. What we could do is order some tools so we can remove the cam bearings. I'm gonna grab some light and inspect this, but to me, I don't see any issues. Another thing we gotta do is give this a hot tank. Is I wanna use electrolysis. If you don't know what that is, that's basically taking electricity and converting the rust from the block onto the rust of the metal. I wanna do that because I will be able to paint the block, make sure it's like super white, there's no oil, whatever chunks of metal, residue, all that gets essentially removed. And now it's immovable. It should be way, way less. So I'd be able to push this over to our cleanup station over there and spray this down and like, you know, essentially hone the walls. I got a couple of things to get. I gotta get something to lift the motor out because like I have this right here, but I need something to actually lift the motor in and out of the tub. Essentially, I'm gonna go to Harbor Freight and get me like, there's this yellow rope that I used in the first engine removal video. It was like a 9,000 pound rope. Essentially, I'm gonna stick it through and then like lower it with the motor because I don't have the valley on it no more. So I can like essentially lift it. But from here, all the progress that we've made, like today was a good day on progress side. All disassembled. One thing I do gotta remember to remove is I'm assuming that this is the crank sensor. I say that because, how you say it? The crankshaft is right here and this is the sensor in the back. I didn't see one towards the front. I'm assuming different years have different crank sensor locations. If you guys see right here earlier, this is the stock cam. That tiny, it looks aggressive. I don't know what a cam is supposed to look like, but it looks quite aggressive. So engine disassembly is finally complete. What we can start doing now is reassembly. So that means we need to stack some more cheese and make a whole order sheet because look at this. It took me a lot to beat this off. I had to beat the ever living life out of this. What I might end up doing is outright buying all the stuff that I need, especially for future builds. Like I want to get an ATI harmonic balancer. I want to get LS3 heads. I'm looking at other options for that because like I don't want to put these 317 heads on and I don't care how long it takes. I really don't want to put these things on because then that affects the intake. That affects essentially how much horsepower I make, and that affects essentially I gotta retune twice. And essentially, if you guys do watch this video this long, I'm gonna be the one tuning this. I'm using Holley and I'm using a book. I'm going to be using people that I know and we're gonna wing it. I never tuned before, but I've never built a motor before. So here is, you know, our experience. But yeah, so I'm gonna be tuning this motor. I wanna tune it with everything that I like essentially. And you can use baselines online. Like I've done research into this, but obviously you wanna get educated in that topic. But that's for a whole nother video. I'd say this is where we at right now. I'm gonna do a little cleanup. I'm gonna find a location to put this crank. Honestly, I might just put the crank back in and just have it sit like that. But I gotta find somewhere to put this crank, somewhere safe. I might move the head, shift over and put that there. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next one, because eventually we're gonna start having to reassemble. We're gonna do a cleaning, a deep cleaning of every single last bit. I want to do a cleaning video of the heads, but I'm like 50-50 on it. And we have to make a order list video, so I have to watch some more videos on YouTube. We have to install the rings. We just have so much more coming. Stay tuned for the build, and I am out.